Magandang araw mga ka-aerial defense, may ibabahagi na naman ako sa inyo. Dahil ngayong araw na ito ay may pag-uusapan tayo tungkol sa ating depensa, Estados Unidos handang suportahan ang Pilipinas sa resupply mission sa Ayungin Shoal. Pero bago tayo magpatuloy, wag mo muna kalimutan mag-like, share and subscribe. Paki-follow at like na rin ang aming page na nasa description na ang link. Gagawin ng Estados Unidos kung ano ang kinakailangan upang maipakita na ang Pilipinas ay makakapagpadala muli ng isang barko sa Second Thomas Shoal, na ginagamit ng Pilipinas upang palakasin ang pag-angkin nito sa karagatan. Sinabi ni White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan noong Biyernes. Sinabi ni Sullivan na mas gugustuhin ng US na ang Pilipinas ang magsagawa ng resupply sa mga tripulante ng barkong pandigma na Sierra Madre.
First of all, just on the point of the Mutual Defense Treaty, we've made clear that it applies to public vessels in the South China Sea, and so China well understands our view of the application of the Mutual Defense Treaty should that line get crossed. That's an important point. We believe it is a stabilizing point, as one we have reinforced publicly and very much reinforced directly to the PRC, and the Philippines understands and appreciates that. Secondly, we have tried to consult very closely with the Philippines because these are decisions they should lead on. How to most effectively reprovision this ship so that the sailors on board have the food and water and other provisions they need to continue to fulfill their mission. And we will do what is necessary with the Philippines to see to it that that happens. But in terms of specific concepts of operations or the exact way in which the United States would be engaged, our preference is to have the maintenance of the status quo there, the capacity of the Philippines to do these resupplies. We will continue to support the Philippines and stand behind them as they take steps to be able to ensure that. And I will be very cautious about speaking about hypotheticals should we have to get to it, because the most important thing right now is to see de-escalation and to see the ability of the Philippines to do resupplies. We believe that is achievable, and we are going to drive to make that happen.
About a year and a half ago, a little bit north of here,
we have seen them respond when we go to them to say, here's a bank that's facilitating a transaction that is a concern to us. We have seen them respond to that. But writ large, the picture is not pretty. China continues to be a major supplier of dual-use items to Russia's war machine. And dual-use items is kind of an abstract term. It's a good Washington term. What it means, it's the implements, it's the instruments that go into the weapons that are killing Ukrainians and oppressing Ukraine. And we think China should stop, because we think it is profoundly outside of the bounds of decent conduct by nation states, and China should not be on Team Russia when it comes to the war in Ukraine. So there are targeted ways in which they are responsive, but the larger picture continues to travel in the wrong direction from my perspective, and we have made no bones about that. We've been quite public and transparent about it, and we of course say that directly to them in dialogue as well, and so do our European partners. And the NATO summit made a very strong statement on this issue publicly, which I would reinforce here. In terms of next steps...
Thank you, Jake.
Sa pagsasalita sa kumperensya ng Aspen Security Forum sa Colorado, sinabi ni Sullivan na nilinaw ng Estados Unidos sa China na ang kasunduan sa pagtatanggol sa isa't isa nito sa Pilipinas ay nalalapat sa BRP Sierra Madre. Kinumpirma ng Pilipinas at China na nagkaayos ang dalawang panig kaugnay sa pagsasagawa ng rotation at resupply mission sa BRP Sierra Madre sa Ayungin Shoal. Wala mang detalye sa naging kasunduan. Ang malinaw sa magkabilang panig ay patuloy na pinipilit ng China na bahagi ng teritoryo nito ang Ayungin Shoal at may soberanya ito sa lugar, habang iginigiit ng Pilipinas ang karapatan at jurisdiksyon nito batay sa umiiral na batas sa karagatan. Nagkasundo ang Pilipinas at China sa isang kasunduan para sa muling pagsuplay ng mga tropang Pilipino na nakatalaga sa isang bahura ng West Philippine Sea, pagkatapos ng serye ng tumitinding confrontation sa pinagtatalunang karagatan. Ang isang malayong outpost sa Second Thomas Shoal ay naging sentro ng mga sagupaan sa pagitan ng mga barko ng China at Pilipinas nitong mga nakaraang buwan, habang ang China ay nagsusumikap na itulak ang pag-angkin nito sa halos buong South China Sea. Ang anunsyo noong linggo ay kasunod ng mga pag-uusap sa pagitan ng Pilipinas at China ngayong buwan nang sumang-ayon silang dagdagan ang bilang ng mga channel ng komunikasyon upang malutas ang mga hindi pagkakasundo sa dagat sa pagitan nila. Ang Foreign Ministry ay hindi nagbigay ng mga detalye ng agreement, Ngunit sinabi ng magkabilang panig na kinikilala ang pangangailangan na de-escalate ang sitwasyon sa West Philippine Sea, at pamahalaan ng mga pagkakaiba sa pamamagitan ng dialog at konsultasyon.
中方基于处理当前仁爱礁局势的3点原则立场，同菲方就运补人道主义生活物资达成了临时性安排。这是中方为管控海上局势做的积极努力。中方将继续坚定维护自身主权和权益，同时注意到菲方表示愿意执行与中方达成的临时性安排，希望菲方言行一致，不要试图倒退，不要节外生枝，不要再采取使局势复杂化的举动。中方基于处理当前仁爱礁局势的3点原则立场，同菲方就运补人道主义生活物资达成临时性安排，体现了中方的善意。我们希望菲方信守承诺，同中方相向而行，共同管控好海上局势。
Noong nakaraang linggo, sinabi ng Pilipinas na mananatili ang operasyon ng Pilipinas na resupply mission, matapos mangako ang Washington na gawin ang kinakailangan para suportahan ng Pilipinas. Umaasa ang Philippine Coast Guard na magiging mas mapayapa ang sitwasyon sa West Philippine Sea, kasunod ng tinawag na provisional arrangement ng Pilipinas at China kaugnay ng rotation and resupply mission sa Ayungin Shoal.
Vessel doon, kung ano man ang activities natin. In return, our Coast Guard vessel, Teresa Magbanwa, make sure na mabantayan naman niya ang area natin sa Skoda Shoal. Hindi natin isinuko ang ating laban sa West Philippine Sea. Kung ano man yung pag-uusap na ilatag ng foreign affairs ng dalawang bansa, ito ay para lamang sa mas mapayapa at mas mababang, mas hindi tensyonado na operasyon sa West Philippine Sea.
With regard to Skoda Shoal, the Philippine Coast Guard vessel, BRP Teresa Magbanwa 9701 remains to be there. This is the longest deployment of the Philippine Coast Guard vessel in the West Philippine Sea. With regard to the monster ship, the 5901 of the Chinese Coast Guard, since July 3, it's still there as well. It maintains a certain distance to the 9701, monitoring our activity in Skoda Shoal. As to their intention there, I can just speculate that probably they are there to, one, probably intimidate us, and then eventually for the Coast Guard vessel to go away. But, you know, they have been doing this for more than 14 days already, and we're still there. So we are also thinking that they are documenting the activity of the Philippine Coast Guard vessel. What are the things that we're doing there? But for the Philippine Coast Guard, we are, the Commandant of the Coast Guard, Admiral Gavan, has given a very specific instruction to our personnel on board 9701 to have a radio challenge every hour for them to realize that it's the Philippines who have effective control in Sabina Shoal.
Nakatakda namang magpulong sa Pilipinas ang matataas na defense at state officials ng Pilipinas at Amerika kaugnay ng sitwasyon sa South China Sea at iba pang bilateral issues sa susunod na linggo.
Discuss ways to deepen coordination on shared challenges, including in the South China Sea, while also advancing our critically important bilateral economic agenda.
Para sa mas madaming update tungkol sa ating depensa, paki-follow at like muna ng aming page na nasa description na ang link. Huwag mo na rin kalimutan mag-like, share and subscribe. Pindutin mo na rin ang bell para updated kayo sa aking mga bagong video. Maraming salamat po.